Matt, a seasoned operative within the Central Intelligence Agency, and his expectant fiancée, Emily, also a CIA asset, received an urgent directive from their superior, Chuck. Their mission: to apprehend a high-value target residing within an opulent estate. This target was none other than Bazar Gore, a former KGB agent turned international terrorist, and their objective was to secure a highly sensitive piece of technology, an integrated circuit, IC, capable of manipulating any electronic system. Upon reaching the imposing mansion, Matt and Emily, adhering to protocol, disarmed themselves, leaving their firearms within their vehicle. They soon located Gore, and Emily, with a calculated maneuver, applied a specialized substance to her wrist before engaging him in a seemingly innocuous handshake. This substance, designed to capture biometric data, successfully imprinted Gore's fingerprints. With the necessary data acquired, they swiftly infiltrated Gore's private office, intent on retrieving the key to the IC. They successfully breached the safe, securing the key, but their actions triggered a cascade of alarms. Security personnel flooded the room, yet Matt and Emily, displaying their expert training, neutralized the threat with practiced efficiency. They fought their way through the mansion, escaping to their waiting vehicle. At a pre-arranged rendezvous point, they encountered Baron, an MI6 agent and Emily's former associate, where a private jet awaited their arrival. Once airborne, Matt secured the IC within a reinforced case. He then offered Emily champagne, but she declined. Matt persisted, and in response, Emily revealed her pregnancy, displaying multiple positive test results. She voiced her apprehension about Matt's reaction, but he reassured her, expressing his unwavering commitment and his long-held desire for a family. As Emily attempted to use the lavatory, she discovered it was inoperative. A sudden sense of unease washed over her as a flight attendant seized her, demanding Matt relinquish the key. Matt, with swift action, tossed the key and engaged the assailant. The remaining cabin crew joined the fray, and a chaotic struggle ensued, even involving one of the pilots. During the melee, a flight attendant aimed at Emily, but Matt intervened, causing the shot to fatally wound the remaining pilot, resulting in a rapid and uncontrolled descent. The flight attendant seized the IC, but the aircraft, in its perilous descent, collided with a mountain peak, beginning a treacherous slide down the slope. Matt and Emily, struggling to maintain their grip, witnessed an avalanche trailing behind them as the plane hurtled towards a precipice. With moments to spare, Matt retrieved the sole parachute and attempted to secure it to Emily, urging her to prioritize the safety of their unborn child. However, Emily, with resolute determination, locked her legs around him and deployed the parachute just before the plane erupted in a fiery explosion. They landed safely, embracing in relief. The harrowing experience prompted them to reassess their lives, recognizing the implications of their impending parenthood. Realizing they were compromised, they made the decisive choice to fabricate their deaths and embark on a new life under assumed identities. 15 years later, Matt and Emily resided in a suburban dwelling, living under their new personas, alongside their 2 children, Alice and Leo. They harbored particular concern for Alice, who had entered her teenage years, a phase they jokingly considered a period of monstrous transformation. The children, suspecting their parents of concealing secrets, grew increasingly curious. Alice had overheard Matt conversing fluently in Russian with a repairman, and the parents' conflicting accounts of their initial meeting further fueled their suspicions. However, Matt and Emily dismissed their children's inquiries, choosing to maintain their carefully constructed facade. During the morning commute to school, Emily attempted to foster a closer connection with their teenage daughter, Alice, suggesting shared activities like a movie night or a popcorn-filled evening. However, Alice, already preoccupied with plans to study at a friend's residence, dismissed her mother's overtures. After dropping off the children, Matt and Emily lingered, observing Alice's affectionate farewell to her boyfriend, James, a sight that nearly overwhelmed Emily. Alice, spotting their presence, curtly informed them that they needed to get a life, a remark that deeply resonated with Emily, who continued to dwell on it throughout the evening. Later that night, Emily, disturbed by a barrage of notifications emanating from Alice's laptop, succumbed to her curiosity and accessed the device. She discovered a series of messages from James, indicating he would be joining Alice at her friend's house. Matt, encountering Emily's clandestine activity, inquired about her behavior, and Emily revealed her suspicion that Alice was involved in something untoward. Matt attempted to dissuade her from further investigation, but Emily, discovering the password affixed to the laptop, logged in. They uncovered messages referencing a chemical apocalypse, and their son, Leo, overheard their conversation and revealed that Alice and James were at a local club. Matt and Emily swiftly proceeded to the club, a crowded venue, and located Alice. They confronted her, demanding she accompany them, but Alice dismissed their concerns. Several older men intervened, attempting to prevent them from taking Alice, and hurled insults at Matt and Emily, labeling them boomers. They initially attempted to ignore the provocations, but when one of the men physically restrained Alice, Emily retaliated with decisive force. The others attempted to assault them, But Matt intervened, ultimately propelling one of the men onto the DJ's equipment, disrupting the gathering. Matt then seized a recording device from another individual and deleted the footage before they hastily departed. During the drive home, Alice expressed her anger at her parents' perceived overprotectiveness and their intrusion into her private communications. Matt countered by reminding her that they were the purchasers of the device, thereby asserting their right to access its contents. Alice, perplexed by her parents' combat prowess, questioned their abilities. Matt fabricated a story about taking a few Taekwondo classes, but Alice remained unconvinced, accusing them of deception. Emily and Matt subsequently grounded her and sent her to her room. That night, Emily confided in Matt that the altercation at the club had rekindled her desire to return to active duty. Matt reminded her that they had retired to safeguard their children, attributing her feelings to pent-up frustration and suggesting an alternative outlet. Unbeknownst to them, Alice and Leo overheard the ensuing commotion, initially fearing the worst, but they soon realized their parents were engaged in a sparring session. The following morning, a visitor arrived at their doorstep, Chuck, their former superior, who had located them using footage from the club incident. He warned them that their enemies, having discovered their location, would soon pursue them, seeking the IC key. Emily believed the key had been lost in the plane crash, but Chuck revealed that the CIA had found no key and discovered numerous deceased operatives from Gore's organization. Chuck suspected that Baron, Emily's former colleague, had betrayed them and was now collaborating with Gore to retrieve the key, which they believed Matt and Emily possessed. Chuck attempted to facilitate their escape, but he was abruptly assassinated by Belarusian gangsters who then unleashed a barrage of gunfire on the house. With urgency, Matt and Emily hastened to their garage, retrieving their prepared bags. They explosively exited the garage in their family minivan, escaping under a barrage of gunfire. During the chaotic flight, Matt disclosed that he had, in fact, secured the IC key 15 years prior. Their pursuers, in heavily armed trucks, unleashed a hail of bullets, compelling them to navigate through residential yards and along suburban streets. Matt revealed that he had concealed the IC key in England, entrusted to Emily's mother, Jenny, a retired MI6 sniper. Their strategy involved retrieving the key and then leveraging it to secure CIA protection against Gore. The relentless gangsters remained in pursuit, and a gunman fired into their vehicle. Matt improvised a diversion by combining soda and Mentos, tossing the concoction into a pursuing truck, creating a temporary distraction that allowed them to evade the vehicle. At Alice's school, she observed a battered van pulling up outside. Matt and Emily swiftly entered the premises, retrieving their children before embarking on a rapid departure towards the airport. At the airport, Matt and Emily announced their intention to visit Emily's mother, a revelation that shocked their children, as Emily had previously claimed her mother was deceased. They continued to evade the truth, refusing to disclose the actual nature of their predicament. During the flight, Emily pondered the wisdom of revealing their secrets to the children, but Matt maintained that continued deception was necessary to provide them with a semblance of normalcy. Upon arrival in England, they passed through airport security, where a surveillance camera captured their images. They managed to board a bus before agents, led by Baron, arrived. They disembarked at their designated stop, but one of Gore's operatives, who had been on the bus, relayed their location to Gore. Emily surreptitiously obtained car keys from a fellow passenger, passing them to Matt, who promptly produced a Range Rover, claiming it was their rental vehicle. As the family drove, the children inquired about Wi-Fi access, but Matt and Emily, aware of the tracking capabilities of their cell phones, confiscated and destroyed the SIM cards. They stopped at a gas station for fuel and provisions, and while the children entered the convenience store, Alice discovered that their passports bore false names, prompting her to question their hidden lives. Meanwhile, Gore's operatives reported the family's location, and he resolved to dispatch additional forces. Baron also received the location of the family's stop. Matt and Emily, outside the gas station, noticed a group of bikers and a car surrounding them. Matt ignited the gas nozzle, creating a deterrent, while Emily engaged the attackers in combat, to the shock of Alice and Leo. Matt and Emily neutralized the assailants. Matt gathered the children, and Emily joined them, sending another man flying with the car. Alice demanded an explanation, but Matt and Emily insisted they enter the vehicle. Baron and MI6 agents then drove past, quickly making a U-turn to apprehend the family. Matt managed to disable a truck carrying pipes, creating a roadblock and facilitating their escape. Alice and Leo, attempting to comprehend the situation, implored their parents to reveal their true identities. They finally confessed that they were former CIA operatives. Alice found the revelation exciting, while Leo wondered if Matt could defeat all the fathers at his school. At the gas station, Baron and Wendy identified the mercenaries as the Vula, a Belarusian mafia group. Wendy questioned the source of Baron's intelligence, but he claimed to have been tracking the Vula independently, insisting on finding Emily. Wendy reminded him that their mission was to locate the entire family, not just her. The family arrived at Jenny's manor, where they found her engaged in shooting birds. Emily introduced the children, but Jenny revealed that she had seen their photographs sent by Matt years prior. Leo offered his grandmother a hug, but she, maintaining her British reserve, instructed him to retrieve a dead bird. Emily had to instruct Leo to drop the bird. They entered the manor, where Jenny's companion, Nigel, joined them, revealing himself to be a former MI6 trainee under Jenny's tutelage. Meanwhile, Baron and Wendy continued their pursuit of the family. They had tracked the vehicle using satellite technology, but lost its signal under heavy cloud cover. They analyzed surrounding locations and identified the vehicle's registration to Fox Hunter Limited, a company Baron recalled being associated with Jenny, the renowned MI6 sniper, residing at the manor. Matt briefed Jenny on the situation, disclosing that the IC key was hidden within her residence. An argument ensued between Emily and Jenny, during which Emily emphasized her efforts to diverge from Jenny's path and be a present parent in her children's lives. Jenny, however, recognized Alice's resentment, despite Jenny's sacrifices, a conversation Alice overheard. Jenny expressed her desire to spend time with her grandchildren, knowing their time together would be limited. Baron discovered Jenny's relation to Emily but concealed this information from Wendy, dispatching her to investigate other potential locations. Concurrently, a team of mercenaries infiltrated the manor grounds, advancing towards the house. Matt escorted Emily to a concealed location outside the manor, where he had hidden the IC key. They retrieved the key just as a helicopter landed, prompting them to hasten back to the manor. Inside, they found Jenny and Nigel bound. As they attempted to reach the children, they were surrounded by armed men and led to another room where Alice and Leo were also restrained. Matt displayed the key, pleading for the children's release, when Chuck emerged, revealing he had feigned his death to motivate Matt and Emily. It was revealed that Baron was innocent and was actually tracking Gore and the Vula, while Chuck had orchestrated the entire situation. Matt and Emily were stunned as Chuck seized the key, revealing that after the plane crash, an IC was lost, resulting in his demotion and the dissolution of his marriage. Meanwhile, Jenny managed to access a hidden weapons compartment and incapacitated 2 mercenaries with tranquilizer darts. She then engaged in combat with approaching mercenaries, and Nigel sustained a gunshot wound during the scuffle. The gunfire provided Matt and Emily an opportunity to disarm several nearby men, but Chuck seized the children, leading to a standoff. Agents then apprehended Matt and Emily. Chuck transported the children to a waiting helicopter and departed. Matt and Emily regained consciousness and reviewed security footage to track the helicopter, observing Leo displaying his smart thumb ring, which they used to trace its GPS location to a building where an event was taking place. Matt and Emily arrived at the building, realizing the event's high security measures forced them to leave their weapons behind. Meanwhile, Chuck met with potential buyers, showcasing the IC's capabilities. He then instructed his hacker to disable the city's power, including the buildings. Matt and Emily observed Chuck's operatives entering an elevator and joined them. Chuck's hacker accessed the city's temperature barrier, revealing his ability to flood the city. Matt and Emily neutralized the operatives in the elevator and proceeded to engage the remaining mercenaries on the floor. Baron and MI6 agents arrived, not to arrest Matt and Emily, but to apprehend Chuck and Gore. Matt, Emily, and the MI6 agents stormed into the adjacent room, and Chuck fled, pursued by Matt and Emily. He encountered his men escorting Leo and Alice to a boat. Emily and Matt attempted to intervene, but Gore's men obstructed them. Jenny arrived with a sniper rifle, enabling Matt and Emily to steal the men's motorcycles and pursue the boat. Gore's men pursued them, firing upon them. Matt used his motorcycle to eliminate 2 shooters, while Emily forced another man off his motorcycle. Emily then commandeered a boat, and Matt joined her, continuing the pursuit of Chuck. Chuck instructed his hacker to meet him at their rendezvous point. She packed her equipment and entered her van, but Nigel, stationed outside the building by Jenny, intercepted her. Nigel rammed her van, disabling it. He discovered the unconscious hacker with the key and laptop beside her. He contacted Jenny, who relayed the information to Matt and Emily, who requested he disable the temperature barrier. Nigel, however, was unsure how to proceed. Matt and Emily caught up to Chuck's boat and boarded it, engaging the remaining mercenaries, with Leo even participating. They needed the barrier disabled, and Nigel, in a panic, accidentally closed the barrier by smashing the laptop. Emily tossed Leo and Alice off the boat, while Matt confronted Chuck. He incapacitated Chuck and jumped from the boat, leaving Chuck to crash into the barrier. Matt commended Leo for his bravery and assistance, and Emily embraced Alice, relieved she was safe. Jenny and Nigel reunited with them, and the family walked away together. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thanks and see you again soon. Take care.